I think one of the biggest mistakes is to not get properly trained in what you're trying to do. So maybe doing a course that doesn't give you the right education, not doing enough case studies, and rushing.
Welcome to the Pro Beauty Pod. I'm Eve, editor of Professional Beauty, and together with my team we'll be bringing you insight and opinion on the hottest issues and the latest developments in beauty, spa, nails and aesthetics, as well as chatting with industry leaders and innovators about the secrets of their success. Thanks for listening, we hope you enjoy it.
So we have Abi and Nathalie. Could we start off by introducing yourselves and telling us a bit about what you do?
Hi everybody, my name is Abi Oleck and I am the head facialist at Amanda Caroline Secret Door in Belgravia. I'm an holistic esthetician, I'm a skin educator and I write for Wallpaper magazine as a columnist. Over to you.
I'm Nathalie Eleni. I just have to say I've actually lost my voice a little bit, so if it goes a bit squeaky, you know why. I'm Nathalie Eleni. I'm a makeup artist, skincare specialist, beauty journalist for Country and Townhouse magazine. I also do 2 pages in Top Santé. This is where it's very difficult. I'm like, oh my goodness, I do so many things. I'm like trying to remember them all. But with my makeup work, I kind of tend to work with actors and actresses when they have their film promotions. So traveled all around the world, facials, what else, Ellen? I can't remember. She's quite good at reminding me when we go out. Someone says, what do you do? I'm like, Ellen, what do I do?
You do a bit of everything. We'll come to that later on as well, how you kind of diversified your career, but you've both done that really well. So how did you first kind of start getting recognised as a facialist within the industry? Were there any kind of key turning points or really pivotal moments or jobs that really kind of changed the trajectory of your career?
So for me, I think the first was I got a client called Emma Forbes, which some of you may know, some may not, but she was a big TV presenter this is like, she's still my client today, and I worked with her like 25 years ago, so that just is so special. I feel like she's been through the journey with me and she's been so supportive. But she was like my first celebrity client. And so, she did lots of photo shoots and things like that. And because we got on so well, she would then recommend me. And it really is a word of mouth, can-do attitude. I did do lots of things for free at the beginning. Not for Emma, she was incredible. My clients were incredible. But things like editorials and collaborating with other people. So you've actually got a portfolio, but it's just about being clever on picking what you are going to do for free and what you're not. It's got to benefit you. So yeah, for me it was her, and it gave me the confidence to then, tell people I worked with her, and then they would recommend other people to me who were also in the public eye.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm holding the microphone. And so for me, I've worked with lots of different TV shows, such as The Gladiators was one of the first shows that I worked on, Celebrity Scissorhands, I'm on BBC and MTV, and I found that from working behind the scenes in TV, that ultimately led to me being introduced to people that were in front of the TV. On Dancing on Ice, for instance, I was there for about 7 years. And I also think one of the key things and one of the strong things is education. So really, the success of my career has come from having core of knowledge. It's from being very well educated within our industry.
Social media is a really important tool in building your own profile. How do you use it? What kind of things do you post? How often are you posting them?
Well, I love a bit of social media. I probably do about 10, 15 posts a day, yes, on different platforms. So, of course, we've got LinkedIn, we've got Instagram, we've got X, we've got, Facebook. So, yes, I do stories because I think as well as showing your professionalism and your work and really good quality content from what you do, I think it's nice to be a bit real and show people who you are behind the scenes, a little snippet into your family life, a little snippet into your nutritional life, and also talking to other experts. So I like to introduce other experts on my podcast and Instagram so that we're sharing information.
And I would say, sorry, my voice is really going now. I would say that for me, I really should probably do the whole LinkedIn thing. I have got a profile there, but I'm better off for myself just concentrating on 1 or 2. And I think that's the thing. Don't stress yourself out. There is just so much pressure on us to be all singing, all dancing, all, doing photo shoots and like amazing destinations. And actually really think about what you want your Instagram to bring you. Essentially, unless you just want it as an aesthetic sort of hobby to do. Most of us want it to bring us money. So I think it's really important to make sure that you keep it very authentic. It's very easy to look at what other people are doing and think, oh, I need to do that. And I just think when you keep it very authentic, then your content's going to really flow because it's really going to be you. And everyone has an audience. If I was obsessed with likes, my whole Instagram was about likes, I would have an audience because that's what's so amazing. So you really want to get your audience and think about what you're trying to sell, or if you're trying to build your profile in order to do sponsored posts and things. I use my Instagram as a kind of slightly website, then tutorials. So I do have to post more like sort of static editorial type pictures because also my clients will go to look at that to see, who I've worked with. But I also do sort of influencer work and brand work, so I also have some of the how-to videos on there. But yeah, I just think it's a massive stress. I'm so glad I feel like I don't stress about it anymore because it's really not worth it. Life is short.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
And you've both been featured in some really nice magazines. How do you go about getting magazine coverage? What advice would you give to other facialists?
Well, it's to create really good content. Also, I work with a PR agency, so I've had a PR agency, We Love Lucy, for probably 20 years. My whole time through the beauty industry, I've always had a PR agency to help me and guide me. And what about you?
No, I haven't had a PR. I'm my own PR, basically. And it's just I'm so passionate and I love what I do so much that I get really excited. So generally, wherever I go, even if I'm at a bus stop I just feel like I'm always talking to someone and then I start talking about beauty. So I think for me, I'm just a bit of a one-man band in that sense. Although I think PR can be really helpful. You've obviously got your business. If you've got, you see, I'm freelance, so I'm just on the road all the time. But yeah, so for myself, I'm also, because I'm a beauty director of Country and Townhouse, I get to go to loads of beauty dinners and things. So I'm always mixing with press anyway. And then naturally, if you have celebrity clients, you do attract the media anyway, because they might want to do a get the look, so they'll reach out to you anyway. And that's where your Instagram can be really useful, because it's not about having 25 million people look at a post. 100 people might look at it, but it might be the beauty editor of Marie Claire or Vogue, you've just got to think of it as a package. I feel like there's so much pressure on entrepreneurs to, and there's all these people trying to sell us things online to be like, boost your Instagram, sell a course. And I just think, just take it slowly and don't put pressure on yourself. Anyway, this is like turning into a bit of a therapy session.
I love that, thank you.
We've kind of covered this a little bit, but how did you first start working with celebrity and high-profile clients? How do you go from working as sort of a solo mobile therapist or working in a salon to getting those kind of clients?
Again, for me, it was working on TV shows. So it was working on shows like Dancing on Ice, and that introduced me to a lot of celebrity clients. But I think in my mind, because I'm going back for about 20 years.
I remember we met about 20 years ago when I was working with someone who was presenting on Dancing on Ice, and I got your tan to use on her. And so we actually met a really long time ago, which is so lovely. It's like a full circle. And that's another thing that I would also say, going off topic probably, but not exactly, it's all under the beauty. One thing I would say that's really important and is to really get a lovely friendship group of people who do the same as you. It's not competition. There is no competition. There's something for everyone. Everyone's got their own speciality. And then what happens is you are a network. You can ask advice. We've got a WhatsApp group. If you can't do something, I'll do it for you. If I need to recommend someone, I'll recommend you. And it really has to be like a sisterhood, brotherhood. It has to be united with other people in your industry, because we do work on our own a lot, and sometimes things do happen, and it's just nice to have someone to talk to. And that's also how you can build your client base, because I've got a few clients to work with. Obviously you can't do everything all the time, so I have people I trust that will do it, and likewise they will pass me some of their clients.
So with these high-profile celebrity clients, obviously some of them are quite keen on their privacy. How do you ensure that they have that whilst also kind of building your own brand, and not off the back of them, to say, but yeah?
Well, the majority of my clients I sign non-disclosure agreements with, and I don't publicise them. So that's probably more of a question because you can publicise.
Yeah. So with some of my clients, I haven't I've worked with really, really top A-list clients, and everyone's like, oh, you should say you work with this person, but I'm really old school in that sense. I don't know, I don't want to do that. So the people that I can mention, obviously if I've done someone's makeup, it's very normal, or like skin prep, it's very normal to tag the stylist, the hairstylist, the makeup artist, whoever's done the skin. So it's actually the norm now to do that. So I always show the photo to my client and check, always ask someone before, like the publicist. A publicist will look after the celebrity clients doing their PR or their agent. So it's really important to check. And just make sure, you don't want people to feel like they're being used, so you don't want to like overdo it. But obviously if you've worked on someone collaboratively, all the creative team should get a tag. And that's why Instagram is good, because you can show, that work off.
Absolutely. So when I've worked on TV shows and it's been public, like for instance, Dancing on Ice, I was allowed to speak publicly about that, and I was allowed to show the images publicly, and we were in magazines. So it depends on the client. Some clients you're going to sign a non-disclosure agreement, and some clients you're going to be free to be part of the collaborative sharing of images.
Another thing that's really good for beauty therapists, or I don't know, aestheticians to get into, which I did a lot of, and I don't do it so much now, but is film set beauty treatment. So I worked on the Wonder Woman films. I did all the tanning and beauty, worked with on the Huntsman, did the nails. I did all these things, and although I signed confidentiality about the film, I can say that I have worked on that, just like a costume designer would say they worked on it. So I think it's just about doing it in a, you're not going to say something like, oh my God, before I did her makeup, she looked terrible, or, you're going to keep it really professional and just, make sure that you check with everyone. But yeah, films are good in the sense that when the film comes out, it looks really good on your CV, and actually they do always need good beauty people, so there we are, top tip.
Thank you.
So once you've met these high-profile clients, how do you keep them coming back to you? How do you make sure that you're their go-to person? Because I know both of you have got quite long-standing relationships with a lot of your clients.
Well, I think the first thing is client confidentiality, really, really high standards, and also to be on top of your game, not on top of trend, but on top of your game, and also be very knowledgeable and research what does your client want. So it's coming back to consultation. It's constant consultation so that you can provide the service that they are looking for and keep improving on that.
I would say what's really important is reading your client, as in sometimes your clients want to be really chatty, sometimes they don't want to talk, and it's very important to have that sort of be aware and to kind of not be too in their face if they don't want it, or to be there if they want it. I think it's just, bringing light when you do. It's a relaxing treatment. It's meant to be, it's a very personal thing to be in someone's space. And when people get to know you, they much rather have the same person, because it's not even just about the makeup. I work with a lot of male actors, and they don't necessarily need a lot at all, but they've worked with me so long, they know they're just going to turn up. It's not having to reintroduce themselves again or worry if someone's going to take a photograph. So I think it's just being, having a really good can-do attitude, having, knowing what, because the amount of times, how many people have asked you about polynucleosides? Tides. I mean, you just have to kind of be aware of buzzwords and beauty and as you say, be on top of your game, and, not to necessarily do it all, but I think it's just, people want to feel like they're with an expert. And so be the expert, which is easy to do now because there's so much education, so much online. And if you're passionate, you just want to do it all the time anyway. So you're an obsessive expert, which is what I am.
Me too.
That's why I've lost my voice. I'm having too many conversations at bus stops with people.
You both really have positioned yourselves as experts within the industry, which means you've both diversified your careers. Natalie, you're a journalist as well. I know you both do some education and some brand consultancy. How do you go about doing that? And how can facialists kind of expand their careers outside of the treatment room?
So I think it's finding your passion for how you want to grow. For instance, I know that I love teaching, I love helping people, I want to pass on the knowledge and the information and the education that I've been given to others. So education is very important to me. So that means I need to study to be a teacher. So you can sort of, you think of where you want to be and then create that pathway. So I think, and also, if, for instance, if you're inspired to be a journalist, then start with a blog, have a blog, build up your audience, and then submit that to the magazines.
So how I started being a beauty journalist, I'm very into manifesting. So again, this is going back to the therapy. We might do that as another podcast. But I just thought I want to be a beauty journalist. I think I was about 30, and I just thought I want to be a beauty journalist. I don't know why, just because I love beauty, love products. I also didn't have much of a kit because I was kind of starting out. Everything was really expensive, and I had friends who, were doing shoots for credits and, writing and getting free products. I thought this is going to be a really good way to get my products, and also I'm so passionate and I just want to do it. So I went to do a shoot for Country and Townhouse, and I actually did the shoot. It was editorial. I got myself there, it was miles away, it was really like low fee because it's an editorial, and this was like 15 years ago, or 17 when the magazine first started. And I just was chatting with the editor there, and I said, I'd love to do a makeup page for you. Can I do a wedding makeup page for you? And she said, oh yeah, okay. And so basically I just did this page, and then it just went on from there. And then, so you just have to ask people, because before that I actually contacted Weight Watchers magazine, and I did a page for them, and then I could say, oh, I've done this. So, there's so many online platforms now, so many. Reach out to them, put a really nice little newsletter together about yourself with with some examples of the products that you love, or like your hero products, and just ask, because people need content. And if you're an expert, you're trained, you're qualified, that puts you way above people who aren't. And it doesn't have to be overcomplicated writing. It's not like we're writing about politics. It is when you read magazines and read online blogs, you can get into the flow of how to write them. So just try it and just reach out to people. I think that's the thing, just keep reaching out if that's what you want to do. But also there's so many other ways to grow, because you can be a facialist, but also you can grow your Instagram. And now the micro-influencer is really important. So don't feel pressured that you have to have millions of followers or thousands. Even to have a targeted, under 10,000 targeted audience, that is so attractive to brands. So you can really build up, it can be like a little hobby if you like doing videos. It's kind of just fun. Don't overthink it, and then you can sort of build up a bit that way. Retailing is really good. I think people forget to retail. Oh my God, you can literally make more in retailing than you can in the actual treatment. So, and also it's really good. You're looking after your client, you're recommending, otherwise they're just going to go to Boots and buy 10 products and then break out. Get acne, go, oh my God, why is my skin broken out? So I think it's very exciting. There are just so many avenues to go, and decide what it is that you're passionate about, what you really love within beauty. And even if it doesn't really exist, make it exist. I feel like that's what I did. When I was at school, there wasn't really anything. So I just feel like I made my job exist. And I'm loving it.
Thank you.
Abi, I know you're really hot on education, and Nathalie's trained in practically every brand and treatment in existence. How important is it to invest in continuous education?
For me, education has been the success of my career. So I trained with Skin Group International, so Skin College, who are here at the show today. And it took me 3 years to get my core of advanced skin science, and there was 6 other diplomas attached to that: consultation, microneedling, chemical peels. And that really gave me the foundation then to do probably the other 100 continuous development point courses that I did. Education for me is what has opened up every door.
One thing I'll say though is don't feel pressured that every time a new treatment comes out, you have to go and spend £3,000 to train in it. Because actually, I have literally done that, and thankfully paid the credit card off now. But they are really expensive, and you're not going to necessarily be able to do everything. And actually, a lot of the treatments I do now are actually quite sort of basic treatments. It's a lot of massage, just really nice products. I won't use 10 products, I might just use 2 or 3, really good cleanser. Just what you do it really beautifully. You can get gorgeous, light, gentle peels just to give a refresh, but don't feel like you have to be now an aesthetic expert and microneedling and injecting. And, again, I just feel like there's all that pressure that you can be just, well, not just, but you can be a beauty therapist doing therapy, facials in a more, with a really good skincare line. I mean, skincare is incredible. Honestly, you can change skin with the right skincare.
Absolutely. I mean, I believe in bringing touch and tech together. So in a lot of my treatments, even if it's a chemical pill or aesthetic treatment, I would have written a protocol so that I can bring the holistic side as well, because we need the holistic side, we need the well-being. And ultimately, whether it's beauty or aesthetics, we're a caring community, and caring starts with well-being and the power of touch.
Do you think it helps to have your own kind of niche and not try to do everything? And how do you go about creating a sort of signature treatment?
You're asking the wrong person, because I like a bit of everything, to be honest. So I think you can be a master of lots of things, and you don't need to just do one thing. And actually, if you do just do one thing, you really cut job opportunities off for yourself. I started about 24 years ago, and I trained in beauty initially. I did fashion at university, then I trained in beauty. Fashion was the closest thing to beauty back in the olden days, but it wasn't beauty, and I would have loved to have just gone and done, what's available now. But I then, when I did beauty, I then trained in makeup. And I remember at the time when I had got my first agent, I don't have an agent now, I'm my own agent, but when I did, everyone was very like, oh, you do beauty and you do makeup. It was a bit like, oh, she mustn't be that good. I don't know, I just felt that, it was that kind of feeling. Whereas now, it's been amazing, because I've always been working, whether I'm doing stuff on film sets, whether I'm doing nails. Like, I did a pop star's nails and got paid an absolute fortune, and all I did was actually follow her around for the day at the X Factor. I mean, it was, all these things I wouldn't have been able to do if I didn't expand, and it's all under the same thing. So obviously you can really niche if that's your personality, but again, don't make yourself something you're not. If you've got other interests, try it. I would say do practice a lot. So if you do learn new skills or do new courses, some people just do like a day course, then they're sort of booking in clients for something that's quite advanced, and really you're only going to stress yourself out with that, because there's nothing worse than not really feeling confident in something. But I just feel like whatever you're interested in, just, as long as you can you can afford it, and you want to invest in something, and you feel it's going to be a benefit and you're going to love it, then I think you should just do it. So I'm not very good at just saying yes or no, am I, actually? Sorry. I get a bit
fine, it's a
away.
podcast.
We love this, thank you.
What do you think defines a successful facialist beyond just technical skill?
Beyond technical skill, well, it's your personality, it's the way that you care for your client, it's it's a lot of things that we've just sort of mentioned about thinking about your client's well-being, and the technical skills are great, but how you are your brand, and how you treat your client and how you treat other people in the industry is what's going to be remembered as well.
Yeah, I definitely think, I feel like I've got so many lovely friends in the industry, and I really, because some people say, oh, beauty, is it really bitchy? I don't find it at all. I think anything can be bitchy if you go out with that attitude. But to be honest, I feel like I have such amazing friends in this industry. I feel like when I go on some of my jobs, literally I laugh and laugh, and I think, how is this, like, this is my job, it's just brilliant. Like, I recently worked with a lovely actress called Sarah Soleimani for the Bridget Jones premiere 2 weeks ago. She's amazing, and I've worked with her for a long time. And like the hairstylist, he and I don't know, I just feel like you meet so many incredible people, creatives, and so extrovert, or just like you have so much fun. And I think ultimately, you want to have those connections to, if you have a question or a problem or anything, if you've got a nice network around you, and make your clients feel great. And also your clients want you to work well with the team. So they don't want to have a hairstylist and a hairdresser and a makeup artist that aren't really talking or don't get on. So it's kind of like you've just got to sort of get on with it. And yeah, you don't have to be all singing and dancing. You can just be yourself, because your personality will attract your client. So I feel like a lot of the actresses and actors I work with now are very similar to me, because I feel like I've attracted that kind of client because they feel comfortable with me. But then another client may rather go with you. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you.
You mentioned earlier the importance of building connections with other beauty therapists, because I know a lot of solo beauty therapists can get quite lonely. How do you meet these people? Is it events? Do you look on them on social media?
Yeah, I mean, we meet a lot of people in professional beauty, and I think this is where a lot of connections and love is formed. I always look forward to the Professional Beauty Awards show, which happens to be on my birthday as well. So it's always a good day just to get together and meet each other. And then we have the small groups as well. So we have WhatsApp groups where we keep in contact with each other. I know we've trained on a lot of different courses. So if I find a course and I'll think, oh, hey, would this course suit you as well? I think there's more connection and contribution with each other, not competition.
You're coming up with some great slogans. I think these need to go on T-shirts. Do you know what I actually want to do? I actually want to set up some sort of I don't know whether it would be good on Facebook or something like that, but a private group for therapists is like a little bit of a support thing.
What are some of the biggest mistakes you see facialists making when they're trying to build up their own personal brand and scale up their business?
I think one of the biggest mistakes is to not get properly trained in what you're trying to do. So maybe doing a course that doesn't give you the right education, not doing enough case studies and rushing. Because again, it comes back to education, case studies, and becoming an expert before you give that treatment.
When you do a course somewhere, don't feel pressured to get all excited because they're very good at then going, oh, and have you done this? This goes really well with this. You should do this. And then before you know it, you're doing like 6 courses. You haven't even really had a chance to practice one. You've spent 10 grand and you're like, oh my God. I mean, so just once you train in something, just do it. Just start doing it, whether it's friends, family, and just don't put the pressure on yourself to think, oh my God, I have to be like, because it's not that you really have to know what you're doing. But even like people can have freak reactions even just with skincare. But when you're experienced, you won't freak out, and you'll just start with a less is more attitude, which is kind of what I always do, and build your relationships with your clients slowly, because actually no one wants to feel rushed or like pushed into having a new treatment that they don't really know about. But yeah, I think just go easy on the old, and make sure you really know the treatments that you're offering and the ingredients, contraindications, all that jazz.
Absolutely, agreed.
If you could give one piece of advice to facialists looking to build up their career, what would it be?
Back again, education. Education and experience and case studies. When I do have a new treatment, I would typically perform, I'd say, between 30 and 50 case studies, whereas I love a case study day. And that's another good way to get together with fellow industry professionals, because that's the only time we actually get to have treatments on each other.
We've actually done a few courses together, which has been quite funny, haven't we? In lockdown, I think that saved us because you were allowed to do certain education things. And I think at one point I don't know, I got very carried away and thought, oh my God, maybe I'll be a doctor. But no, really didn't go anywhere as near as that. But anyway, at least it gave me hope through lockdown. But yeah, we've done quite a lot of courses. And I also think refreshing anatomy, physiology, and doing skin, just refreshing yourself on the things that you've done before. I've got the most amazing folders that when I went to London College of Beauty Therapy 25 years ago, folders like this, and every now and again I do really like to look through, and it just kind of refreshes, and I feel like a lot of the old school treatments are becoming really popular again. Things like the high frequency, vacuum suction, Faradic, all these things are actually, and galvanic, I feel like they're really coming back. So yeah, it's really good to just keep refreshing yourself also. But we don't need to be, this is another thing, I feel like sometimes when we look at Instagram, everyone's, telling us, and it's got da-da-da-da-da-da, and you're like, and you think, God, do I now have to be like a scientist and a doctor and a da-da-da-da, I just don't, I just choose to do more like how-to videos. But if you're really passionate about that, then obviously do that, but don't feel pressured that you do have to do that. But you do obviously need to know what you're doing with your facials.
Yes, you do. Thank you.
Is there anything else that either of you wanted to add before we open up for questions?
No, I think we've covered it. So shall we go to some questions?
Hi. I've just recently opened my own clinic at home.
Sorry, it's really hard to hear.
I've just recently started my own home-based clinic, and I'm stocking Korean skincare, doing holistic as well as medical grade treatments. I was just wondering, you mentioned how you use holistic wellness while you're doing these treatments. After you do like treatments like microneedling and skin peels, how would you incorporate that?
So basically, when you're blending touch and tech, and you are then going to have another protocol above that, I always write to the company. Okay, so if I'm using a particular machine, but I'm going to first of all bring in a holistic element into the treatment room, I would have written to that manufacturer and I would have said, I would have listed exactly what I'm going to do. And for instance, there are things that you don't have to be so concerned about, like you can put diffusers on.
Yeah.
You can also put the oil onto your own arms.
Or aromatherapy.
Yeah, so that basically the client can breathe that in. And like Nathalie, I will use the cleansing part of a technique, of any protocol, to bring into a massage.
I've discovered, I don't know if that's the right word, but something that works really well, and it's literally on YouTube, is when I'm doing a massage, I will find, I love, the Hertz music, am I saying that right? So there's different frequencies. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. And then there's ones that are subliminal manifestation, which the clients just love, especially if someone's going through a breakup and they're coming in to have a bit of TLC at the same time. There's some really nice things that you can put on. Music can be really important, but I love the frequency music. And again, it's just on YouTube, Spotify. Just like the lighting, candles. With the diffusers, I'm asthmatic, so sometimes they can set me off. But you can always do it before, or light a candle before, then blow it out so that you've got the scent in the room. Softness, the bed, to make sure they're like feeling like they're really like cocooned. All those things, I think, and also you seem like such a lovely, warm, I bet you're such a gorgeous therapist, so it's just even having that is holistic, having someone lovely do your treatment.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Hi, it was really nice listening to both of you. Thank you for sharing information. I have two questions. Number one, there are so many education platforms have been offered even today. Sometimes you really wonder which one to pick up. Yes. Right. Someone coming from a background of skincare, working with the brands for 15 years. Now I just moved to London, but I'm really wanted to understand from where I should upgrade myself. There's so many institutions, clinics, academies have been offered. So can you suggest the right guidance for me to explore further?
Okay, so for me, education has been super important throughout my career. When you're looking for who to be educated with, you need to know where your journey that you wish to end up, because continuous development points have their place if you're already an expert and you need brand knowledge. But if you're looking to expand to become onto a level 7, from my personal experience, I'm going to suggest the degree pathway. But there are.
I would say if that's not suitable, if you've got children, or if you don't have the time, or if you're like trying to build your business whilst working, I would say when you train with a skincare brand, lots of brands now don't, because I remember they used to do massive opening orders, but actually they've really stopped doing it as much. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think, and actually just ask, say, look, I'm starting out. I'm a therapist. I will be loyal. I love the products, because really, everyone needs to sell products. There's so much competition. So, but within the brand, there's so much training you can do, because brands are constantly bringing out new things, new peels, So actually. You can get like Wigmore Medical, they do amazing training. There's lots of places that stock the products that, distribute the products that can offer training. So that's a good way, and generally it's free because you're using the brand, or that it's going to be of a high standard if it's a really good quality brand that you're using. And then also when you go onto those courses, you can just ask other people, It is really difficult, and I feel like I've spent a lot of money on courses I wish I'd never done, because they just were not I feel like you get taken advantage of as in this industry, and I feel like I did courses that really didn't live up to the expectation, but you've paid for it, and then, so I just, proceed with caution.
Yeah, I think I'd just like to add that if a course is costing £1,000 and they're only going to give you one day, that's not good.
Yeah.
Not from my perspective. I can't learn what I need to learn in one day, and that's from my background. Personally, I'd rather put the more time in, take a few years, spend a few more thousand, but come out with a higher level of education. And I have over 100 continuous development point certificates and brand training, so I love those certain days. Yeah, there's about 100 in my folder. I know, because I can only fit 100 in the folder and I've gone to another folder. And all of them have given me something. All of them I have learnt something from. And they are very important and important also on the journey. But core knowledge is king for me.
Again, another great slogan there. For the t-shirt. I know. It's always good to have a little something on the side.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Quite informative. Second question, we tend to learn from everywhere, Cedesco, Siptech, NVQ, around the world on facial massages. Everyone comes up with a different set of massages, but everything boils down to your facial muscles. That's we agree.
Yeah, so sorry.
Yeah. So with your perspective and your experience, do you combine different sets of massage in your facial with your own efforts, love, emotions?
Yeah, I always say I do it with love.
Or you stick to the certain set of procedure, like this is I have learned or have been
I don't
experienced.
stick to anything.
You mix, right? You mix whatever comes best, right?
Yeah, you just feel it, and also you can also sort of sense if someone enjoys a particular movement, or I just cannot imagine going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I think when you start learning, you have to sort of learn it like that because you're learning the movements. But then, I know that some brands are strict about particular movements having to be done. However, I've never done that, so sorry brands, because I've always just done my own thing. You can take elements into it, but you just make it your own and do it with love and passion.
Yeah, I agree. I teach massage, facial massage, and write protocols for brands. But typically, I think if you put 80% of that into a client, because every client you're going to adapt, because there may be, as therapists, we adapt the treatments depending on what the client's liking, whether they've got, some protocols where we're putting in scalp massage, but the client's got hair extensions and or just had a blow dry. So things have to be adapted, but I think it's always the intention as well. I always, when I touch my client, the intention is to clear my head, and the intention is to put love and healing into my client. And they feel the intention. I'm feeling the intention now, just talking about the intention. I'm feeling love.
First of all, thank you very much from all three of you. I think the lady touched on the point. So I've finished my my VTCT level 3 last year, and I want to set up my own kind of side business, and I'm also working for a doctor in Harley Street. But I don't have a community around me to kind of, apart from my college tutor, to ask what's the next step. So basically, we learn a very quick facial massage, but I'm seeing Kabido, is it Kabido? Mm-hmm. And buckle and this and that, and they're like 60 minutes, 90 minutes. And I just want to know, maybe, I don't know if you've done all of them, maybe you've done all of them, you choose different ones for different clients.
I think this comes back to people selling courses again and trying to get, if you're starting out, just really get to know massaging the face, lymphatic drainage, those, like the traditional, don't worry about all, and honestly, some of these things that I've seen online, and I've actually experienced one that was pretty literally horrific. So I feel, again, it's that marketing thing of you could do this and this lifts this, but really it's touch, it's, lymphatic drainage really works. These are all things that are taught in your facial.
Yeah, we did it for like 10, 15
so just
minutes,
really focus on that.
Maybe a client coming to Harley Street might want something like, they wake up with their cheeks.
Yeah, if you see how it goes, and then you can maybe train. If there's a big demand for it, it's something you want to do, then yeah, you can
Because there
train
are
in
courses,
it.
they're like 400, 1,000, whatever. I don't know whether I should go on YouTube and integrate it with what I've learned, or do you recommend going for a separate course for massage?
If you really want to do something like that, it's very specialist, definitely need to do a course in it and a qualification. However, if you're just starting out and you've already got all the knowledge that you've just learned, I would start, because that's again when you just start learning everything but you don't have a chance to just give yourself a chance to do what you're doing, massage, and then if you do feel like there's a demand for it and you feel really confident in what you're doing, then go and get a proper qualification. Yeah, earn some money, use it to then, I just feel it's that whole thing where it's a very, when you're starting out, it is difficult, so just don't put too much pressure on yourself.
Hi, thank you for the all the infos and insights. Now my problem is, I don't want to give service to men because I'm not comfortable with it. How can you be able to give me an insight on how to reject men without the
Probably quite good at that one, actually.
without breaking the Equality Act 2000?
I think you just be really honest and say that your treatments are just for women. You don't do anything that you're not comfortable with.
Yeah, but the problem is some people saying the men can sue you because you're rejecting it because that's gender discrimination. But can't I choose as a beauty therapist to just give treatment to women? Because my massage is like very, very sensational, if you know what I mean.
Oh my God, I really want to come and have one now. I mean,
like,
I really need one.
I make it feathery at the end of the massages, and I don't want to give that to men, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, we're not legal experts. I think that's the first thing to say. So what we would have to do is maybe ask at Professional Beauty if anybody...
I'm also not a legal expert.
No. So that's a question that we can't answer for you about whether it's a legality. But I can tell you now that I choose to provide my facials for women, and it's very rare that a man books one of my facials because of my advertising, because of my product description. If people have asked me in the past about massage, back in the day when I used to do massage, even then I used to be very honest and say I do a very light Swedish massage. I don't do deep tissue. So basically, if you're wanting that, you need to have someone that's qualified to do that. But as for legal, we can't answer that legally. But I would just promote what you want to do. So basically, make your content more female.
That's all we have time for. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you to Abi and Nathalie.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We appreciate you.